Hey everyone, welcome to this video. I'm going to show you my process of learning 3D in Blender, which is a totally free program. And I had never worked with anything in 3D before, so I started with the tunnel tutorial. And later I found out that it's a very popular tutorial among 3D illustrators. It has these amazing 17 videos, each about 30 minutes long. It's a bit long, but it's a really good tutorial. It guides you from the basics of modeling the skew donut, adding icing, sprinkles, and even a simple animation. And what's great about this tutorial is that it covers really everything. I tried some shorter tutorials to start, but they didn't really work for me. And what happens is that when you first open Blender, there's a cube, and if you don't know the shortcuts, really, it's super confusing. You cannot do anything with that cube. And the donut tutorial is very detailed and explains what each key does, which helped me a lot with the basics. It's also worth mentioning that when you finish this tutorial, you might feel a bit frustrated because there is so much new stuff and that's so hard to remember it all. So when I first finished, I couldn't even remember how I started, and there is just so much to learn. But it's really great tutorial, and I know you have to keep practicing. You won't become a master overnight, so it takes time, and that's okay. After rendering, the donut looked like a bit plastic because I rendered it in Eevee. That was the more I could do with my notebook at the time, but the cool thing is that the images came out pretty cool. I really love it, and that's something amazing about 3D is that you can play with the lights and cameras and you can create different effects, different images, and I really like it. Overall, it took me about 10 hours spread across 7 days. I took my time and didn't rush it. And if you want to start, 7 days is enough to get you from zero to something decent with Blender. And after I finished, I thought I was killing it, like I knew everything and stuff. But then I tried to make a donut in the shape of a letter C and nothing worked. Really, the lighting was all wrong and everything just looked weird. I tried adding some sprinkles, but it just wasn't coming together, and that's when I realized I needed more tutorials. And so I went to the NView tutorial, which is a part of a series by the Blender Guru. And this one was really cool because it taught me a lot about modeling in general. But my notebook crashed a bunch of times during the process because I didn't know how to optimize things yet, and it was quite of a struggle. But the result turned out pretty well, and I learned about texturing, and I'm happy with how the NView project turned out. After that, I tried this fun tutorial called Medivan, which is a low poly style, which is more game-like and easier on my computer. It's a graphic style that's less intense on polygons, so it's great if you're just starting out. I really had a lot of fun doing this one, and I learned a lot. Next, I found a tutorial by Killen Joan, who's a designer who started learning Blender in his free time to create illustrations for his projects, and his tutorials are really great. If you already know the basics of Blender, this is a place where you can go. They are shorter, so you can create a character in about half an hour. He also teaches you how to make stylish clothes, which is really cool. And after that, you can add color to your characters, which was the fun part. Then you need to learn about rigging, which is adding bones to your characters so you can pose them. And this part was really hard for my notebook. It crashed a few times, but I managed to rig my character and make some cool poses. And finally, it was time for my own project. I challenged myself to create something within 3 months. and I found a cute doll reference and started building from there. But I had to take a 2-week break from Blender because it really crashed my head and I was getting crazy about all this new stuff. There was times that I just couldn't open Blender again and I just needed some time. And yeah, maybe you're gonna need some as well. But after 2-week break from Blender, slowly I remember what I learned from the tutorials and it went well. Some things worked and some didn't. And for this project, it took me a lot of time, especially with this hair. Really, that was so hard to do this hair, but it's just because I didn't know yet how to do it. But in the end, it all came together and I was really proud of myself. That's nice. And afterwards, I thought it would be fun to add some tattoos on my doll, and I found a simple tutorial for that, and it worked. I was so happy. I really didn't thought that it was going to work, but yeah, that's good. The rigging wasn't perfect. I had some issues, and you can see my character's hands had some weirdness, but it's okay. It's all part of the learning process, and I'll get better with time. But I made it work. And I posed my character a few different ways and it looked pretty good. And here is my final project. Thank you all for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something new. And if you're the person who likes to learn new skills, Blender is something that it's really fun that you can do in your free time as a hobby, or you can learn it and make it as a work for you. So yeah, I hope you got inspired by this, and if you have some doubts, you can write me here in the comments and I'll be ready to answer you. So thanks for watching and see you next time.